roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. See, say now, when sorrows start like storm, we're dashing over my way. Again, the Lord, what a God nice in mercy, and him just roll over. Come on now, then forward till this Jehovah, for the billows dash and spread. With a concrete tread, we will push ahead, and we will hold the sea away. And what he do now? He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. All of the sea away. Problem coming road. Problem coming road. Mountain coming road. Problem coming. Whoa! He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. Problem coming road. Problem. Listen. And when I reach the sea for heated grace I pray. I know the Lord. And the better do on the God. He will roll the sea away. Then forward still this Jehovah's will. Though the billows dash and spread, with a concrete tread we will push ahead, and we roll the sea away. Look here now, man. Sickness come, he will roll away. He come, sickness he roll the sea away. He roll the sickness roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. Roll all the sickness away. All of the bill they repair. Roll the sea away. 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 Then forward still this Jehovah's will. Blow the billows dash and spread. With a concrete tread we will push ahead, and we will go. One more time. Then forward till this Jehovah's will. Blow the billows dash and spread. With a concrete tread we will push ahead, and go. One more time. Lord, he roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. Roll the sea away. Problem come, he roll it up. Sickness come, he roll it up. All the come, he roll it up. All the problem come, he roll. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Somebody else say. Jordan roll. Jordan roll. Oh yeah. And to thy word thyself. He say roll. Jordan roll. Jordan roll. To heaven when people hear the Jordan roll. Take it up. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. All of the problem roll up. All of the sickness roll up. All of the bill them roll up. Everything problem. Yeah. He rolled. Hallelujah. Glory. Thank you, Jesus. Whatever you face this week, forward still. Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, if you book a tour, forward still. Disappointment come, forward still. Woo. And if another pastor fall, forward still. After another pastor we are follow. We obey with pastor, but we are follow Jesus. Forward still. Woo. Young people, walk holy. Walk holy. Make the right decisions. Walk right. Walk holy. Ramandosia. Rakandarabasiondarabosa. Walk holy. Forward still. It's Jehovah's will. Though the billows dash and sway. Church be the church, and he will roll. Yes, he will roll. No matter what you face, he will roll. Even if you fall, get up and he will. Oh yes, and he will roll the sea.
Dr. Brown's Arthritis Remedy and Joint Oil Pain relieves muscular and joint aches, arthritis, sciatica, headaches, menstrual cramps, foot pain, and is also a great sleep aid. Manufactured by Jamaican scientist Everton Brown, PhD, from a blend of Jamaican herbs. Shop www.jamsweet.com or call us at 813-679-0106.
Get something on wheel it. Get something on wheel it. Get something on wheel it. Grab a rock 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 on wheel it. Come on, wave your hand. Wave your hand. Wave your hand if you love the Lord. Wave your hand. Wave your, yes, wave your hand if you love the Lord. And me say roll, Jordan roll, roll, praise him like you just don't care. Just praise your God, because you know what he has done for you. Just give him praise, rock and praise him, dance and praise him, wave your hand and praise him. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. My God, David was one of the greatest musicians. And I hear this musician playing. Give God glory, musician. Tell them, play a little David. Play a little David. Play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. is good. God, for I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. Oh no, me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a go walk right in there. 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 A river Jordan a roll. 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 Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Let the deaf man hear. And the dumb man talk. And the blind eye see. And the crippled man walk. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan. I feel like praising. I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a feel it when you roll. Me want rock and praise it, boy. Me a feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Boy, river Jordan a roll. People make you roll, make you roll. Boy, a blessing make you roll. Yes, a blessing make you roll. Boy, are your blessing make you roll. Yes, are your blessing make you roll. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan rolls. Somebody shout and praise to God.
He like.
Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! PNP coming again! So tell your neighbor, tell your friend! Green man I ride with like mule, and I take the nation for fall! But we have a new name for him! What the name? Him name Eli! Bangarang! Oh, we tired of the labor pay! The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired of the labor pain. Poverty of us we shut and we going insane. Why? Eli. At the new name for the bus driver. Eli. That's all you hear on every corner. Eli. The name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday. Eli. Hear this. Eli tell we say him a go build up the country, put money in our pocket and end poverty. Promise the farmer them a go drive SUV. No him touch the bus, him a blame PNP, but Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him fi go sit down back in the harbour. Him too lion out of order. Oh, we tired of the labor pay. The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired of the labor pay. Poverty of us we shut and we going insane. Eli. At the new name for the bus driver. Eli. That's all you hear on every corner. Eli. The name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli make big promise to teach a nurse and police. Promise to give them big salary increase. Promise jobs, more jobs and good economy. But no him crash the bus, him a blame PNP. But Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him fi go sit down back in the harbour. Him too lion out of order. Wanna remember this? Eli from a party new on the scene. Swear say him done with the the garrison and the green. I'll never go back to that. Him tell the country, now him greener than green with no credibility. Eli, at the union for the bus driver. Eli, that's how you hear on every corner. Eli, him name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli, Eli is a rookie driver. Eli, him cannot run Jamaica. Eli, him they go sit down back in the harbor. Eli, him too lion out of order. Eli. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday, 1 o'clock.
All right, partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. With the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. With the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the parliament. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot. Set a rat trap in a FLA. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap in the school. The one them where teeth to pick in them money. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the judiciary. The one them where take money out of the table. Set a rat trap for the lawyer them. Set a rat trap. Take the people money and take them land title. And them not get no title. Hello? Set a rat trap. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Hello? Me say we set a rat trap in the church for the one them we are thief the offering. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. We must catch them. Set a rat trap in the tax office. Set a rat trap in the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Me say we set a rat trap. Andre. Oh my God, we are suffering in Jamaica with the corruption. Jesus Christ, you can't get them. Set a rat trap down on the wharf. Set a rat trap for the, what they call them? Set a rat trap down on the wharf, man. Yes? And set a rat trap in the airport. Hello, you know, say all here Jamaica bankrupt, but we don't know where the money go. Set a rat trap, set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 for the rat them.
Good evening, good night, Jamaica. Good evening to the globe. Good evening to everyone, near and far. Yes, I am back. I am back, Jamaica. I am back, and a spirit said to me this evening that I should send out a message to my colleagues and my friends on my broadcast list. And I did it this evening as I was putting the script together to come to class. And I simply said to all who is on my broadcast list, hey friend, I'm just doing a checkup on your mental health. Hope you're doing okay. I was appalled by how many persons or how many people are suffering in silence. When I sent out that message today, this evening, I was appalled by how many persons in my WhatsApp who is going through something. And I'm telling you, the myriad of messages that I got back about 200 responses. I got back over 200 responses. I don't think I lie, me go show no. And I one on my phone that I go through. One on my phone alone. See the students, look there. Look on there, look there. Look there. Look there. Look how much message me look there. When you say me talk about? Look there. Look how many people. And half of those respondents. And me I said to myself, say, my God. If you get it, it means that you're on my broadcast list. If you don't get it, Jamaica, my apologies. But when I see it, I said to myself, say, whoa. Wow. So I'm encouraging somebody today, or I'm encouraging somebody tonight to check on a friend, check on a neighbor, check on a family member, check on a church sister. You hear what me I say? Check on somebody, man, because too many people are suffering in silence, and you never know. A word of encouragement, a song, something can make that one person decide for, you know what? Be in a better place. Who agree? Who agree, Jamaica? So, just check on somebody. Just check on somebody. Even if you're a wicked, treacherous neighbor. Say, hey, all wicked, you good? Them will answer. Say, all wicked, what be a worker? You good? Still check on them. Enough of them will be a worker and hold you down, you know. But make them know, still say, hey, wicked. Yeah, man, me make all the iniquity work. Me check out on the iniquity work of them. Yeah. Me check on the iniquity work of them too. Make them know Jamaica say you are check on them. Make them know. Because make them know you are check on them. I wonder if I should warn tonight. Should I? As a matter of fact, today a nice couple came. The Allens came today to sample the sorrel cake, them sample the bangarang fruit cake, them sample the rum fire cake. Producer of the video with the Allen them. Bangarang a partner dra. Son, I love the cake.
Yes, it's nice.
It turn up. Yeah, man. Like that.
All right.
We will be back in the month
Awesome.
Yeah, man, we'll be back, man.
Yes, so producer show the love in the ear now. Oh, got it nice, see? Bangaranga partner dra. Son, I love the cake.
Yes, it's nice.
It turn up. Yeah, man. I eat that.
All right.
We will be back in the month.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, we'll be back, man.
What a bangarang! Hey!
Which papa and that a bangarang producer? Which papa and that a bangarang? But thanks to the Allens that they always support me. Thanks to the Allen. There's a set of people who never leave me out. And you know the funny thing, them now go call and say, Andre, me are coming now. Them just pop up on me as always. But I appreciate, as you're aware, cakes are available. The first shipments of cake, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in New York, if you are in Florida, the cakes are available in these spaces and places. So get your cakes, all right? Get your cakes, get your cakes, get your cakes. And remember, there were some price adjustments. So the prices are reflecting of said. Also, cakes will be in Canada. The number to order cakes in Canada, people, let me give you the number. Miss Janetta. 647. This is the Canada number. 647. And Miss Janetta, don't take calls. You have to WhatsApp her. Miss Janetta, don't take calls. You have to WhatsApp her. So it is 647 678 9458. You get that? When I get that, 647. She's in Toronto. 678 9458. And students, me nah get caught up in a who get black and who not get black. Sometimes when you need for all a chill pill over here. And me not in the argument and the unnecessaries over here. Yeah, man. The comment was very rude and offensive today, and I, Andre Stevens, went into the comment section and blocked the individual. If anybody is offended by it, take it up with Andre Stevens. Argument done. So where are we tonight, Jamaica? Where are we tonight? As you're aware, the Atlanta, or the people in Atlanta, selector's number. Let me give you the selector princess number. Atlanta, the number is 678 for Atlanta. Producer, you have to change the number for Atlanta. The number is 678 404 9545. All right? 678 404 9545. All right? 678 404 9545. That is Selector Princess's contact. All right? Mm-hmm. 678-404-9545. That is Atlanta contact. Blessings to you, Christine. Blessings to you. So tonight is a Friday night, Jamaica. There's many things that are on the radar to be discussed. Many things that are on the radar to be discussed. But where do we start tonight? It's very unfortunate what is happening in our schools, where the criminal underworld no longer has regard for our educational institutions. The criminal underworld no longer has regard for educational institutions. What do I mean by that? Today alone, Jamaica, there were 2 deaths at 2 of our institutions. There was a death at Rosu Primary School, where a father was carrying 3 sets of children to school. And if I recall, Jamaica, a few weeks ago, another man was murdered at Rosu Primary School. Another man was murdered at Rosu Primary School. And this morning, just as the man sent the children into the institution, right there, but even as I speak about Rosu, this morning at Homewood Technical High School in Manchester, the bus driver was murdered on the school compound.
Help, we hear the
We need your divine intervention.
You heard what I said? You heard what I said, Jamaica? The school bus driver was murdered on the compound. And it is not a case where the driver was heading home. It's not as a case that the driver was outside of the school premises. He was murdered on the compound in front of the children. Thank you, Mama Jean. In front of the children. Play what happened now, producer. Play.
This bastard act was perpetrated by a lone gunman who lay in wait for him at his school gate, at his workplace. After the incident, he escaped in a motor vehicle that was waiting some distance away. Immediately after the incident, our operation and investigation machinery was put in place and some serious work was done. It led us over into a neighboring parish of Clarendon where a vehicle was intercepted and some persons taken in custody. As it stands now, those persons have been interviewed. We're hoping to move the investigation further.
What them call him Spruggy? You can play the next report, producer. I think something more is there.
Harold Newman, coach of Fulton football team.
Mr. Newman, you were just explaining to me that the gentleman who was fatally shot here was supposed to transport you and the students to a match. Could you just tell me about that?
Well, we have a U14 and a U16 match. It was scheduled to play last week Saturday, but it was rained out. So it's a rescheduled game for today at 10 and 12. So we're getting ready to go to that game over by Knox.
When this incident happened?
Yeah, he was here preparing to take the student, the footballers, to Knox for the game.
So a situation like this, no doubt has left you traumatized. You knew the driver personally. What kind of person was he?
He was a jovial person. He's like a father to the youth them. They rap, they talk, they joke. He was a good person. I don't have any problem with him. And all the kids and him have a good rapport.
About how long has he been working here, based on your information?
I'm not sure. I've been here, I know it's over 3 years now.
Wow. The parish of Manchester was a very peaceful parish, you know. If you have 20 deaths in Manchester for the year by violence or murder, you have a lot. But the parish of Manchester has become plagued with hoodlums and criminality. And many people don't want to admit it, and people who admit it, many of them are in denial of what is happening in Manchester. I had said some time ago that when you have states of emergencies in some spaces and not everywhere, criminal elements has a way of moving their operations from one space to the other. So what has happened in Mandeville now is that Mandeville has become a Creole society. You know what is the meaning of a Creole society? Who knows the meaning of a Creole society? A Creole society is one in which, let me see which bright student is here. Anybody know what's the meaning of a Creole society? Nobody knows the meaning of a Creole society. Go and research a Creole society tonight. Go and research the meaning of a Creole society. Those who do sociology or who has done Caribbean studies should know what is the meaning of a Creole society. Me can't believe me braggadocio spitting they now learn. Me can't believe me pitting them not understand what I mean about Creole society. Donna, me go respectfully ask you. Donna, me like you, me love you. Me go respectfully ask you. Stop troll the comments tonight. A Creole society simply means it mix up. Mix up, you have Mobile people coming in, you have Westmoreland, you have St. Elizabeth, you have Hanover, you have Kingston, Clarendon. It's a set of mix up. So Mandeville has now become a mix up set of people, a diverse set of people. But where the diverse set of people comes, there is going to also be what? When you have so much fre, ah. Yeah, man. So when the whole heap of conflict and the bagger happen, that's what causes it. Making sense now? So that is the situation in which that is happening in Manchester. And with that, they know it's going to carry it. Even if the society brings good, it's equally going to bring bad. So what is happening in the Manchester area is that all sort of, you remember where Uncle Derek said, me say, guys, all heapa passa. So all heapa different intermingling is causing the mayhem that was in cool Manchester. Whole heap of the intermingling is the issue that has taken over Manchester. It's very sad, Jamaica, what is happening. And we have seen numerous deaths. Yes, it's called migration, but it's also called a Creole society. Manchester wasn't like that, you know. Manchester wasn't like that, Jamaica. I know which set of people come there. The scammer them. I hear say the scammer them take over Manchester. And that is why enough for I must call a spade a spade. Many of you don't have no problem with the scammer. Because when the round robin keep, when them come out now, what the place name? When them come out no bar, them something at the bar. What them do to the bar? Them shell the bar. So no problem. But equally when them spending it also carry bloodshed. When Jamaica is the truth of what is happening. It is truth what we're having in this space, and many people don't want to admit it. And 8 years ago, Mandeville wasn't like this, you know. 8 years ago, Manchester, Mandeville was not like this. Pierre Hennessy and Ciroc and all of the Tappanaris them. It's not, I wouldn't just, it's, I know everything on the limit to spiritual warfare. Some people are downright involved in many nefarious activities, and they move the activity from St. James and Westmoreland and Hanover and Clarendon and St. Catherine and pull it up there, sir. It's very sad, it's very unfortunate. It's very sad and it's very unfortunate, Jamaica. But the realities exist that when all of those places were being put under ZOZOs and state of emergency, Manchester was not put under no ZOZO and state of emergency. So what is going to happen? The criminal underworld going to say, backside, that is my new haven. And that became their haven. And with that becoming their haven, you know what they started off doing? Many of the landlords live overseas. So because many of the landlords live overseas, when them inquire, who are you? Oh, you're good, man. So the landlord now do the due diligence and all of them something. But them start off by that the Airbnb and them something there. So by time the landlord say, oh, them a pay good, them a do this, them a do that. Not realizing that it's going to become a mayhem on them. So this is the situation at hand. It's very unfortunate, Jamaica, but this is the situation at hand. And it is sad to say, if the security forces and the government don't get it under control, over the next 24 months, Manchester might become the new blood capital of Jamaica. You heard what I said? Take my warning tonight, Jamaica. If Manchester situation is not solved, if serious intervention is not done in Manchester and rid Manchester of the criminal underworld and the criminal element, mark my word, Manchester will become as bloody as Spanish Town. Listen to what I said. Can't say I never warn you, Jamaica. Can't say I never tell you. Can't say I never warn you. Problem a come. Tonight I want to look on another situation. I believe my guest is here. Tonight I should have 3 other persons on screen. Can you play Boy Jamaica? I've been depressed by this situation. When you hear Sir Fitz Jackson lose the case against the bank, Scotia Bank, with the banking fees, play the report they produce and carry on all of my guests then.
A press conference at the Spanish Court Hotel in St. Andrew on Friday, hours after opposition Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson lost his bid for the Supreme Court to issue a summary judgment that the Bank of Nova Scotia, BNS, breached the Bills of Exchange Act by charging fees to encash checks.
I was expecting a better judgment, obviously, but I'm also mindful of the implication of a judgment one way or the other.
The summary judgment was applied for after Mr. Jackson filed a suit against BNS for breaching his rights. This after he was charged a $385 fee for encashing a $2,500 check in 2019. Mr. Jackson's attorney Anthony Williams explained why the summary judgment was applied for.
Having meticulously examined the court documents and the defense filed by BNS, there were certain concessions made that led us to the conclusion that it would have been BNS who would not have had a real prospect of success.
However, Supreme Court Judge Justice Crescentia Brown Beckford found that the Bank of Nova Scotia did not breach the Bills of Exchange Act nor the Banking Services Act. The judge also found that the bank's right to charge a fee for the service falls under the Code of Conduct under the Banking Services Act.
We could see some glaring inconsistencies, contradictions in the analysis by the judge, and most importantly, as I mentioned earlier on, this lawsuit was based from the very beginning on the provisions of the Bills of Exchange Act, not the Banking Services Act.
It must be noted that since the case was brought before the bank, BNS has since discontinued charging fees for checks. Now, as for what's next,
we intend to file an appeal against the matter. It is not over yet. We have a real prospect of fighting this matter, and we believe that we would be on good grounds.
For me personally, any effort that can protect the everyday Jamaican is a battle worth fighting. And I intend to do that inside or outside of Parliament.
Mr. Jackson has been lobbying Parliament since 2018 to enact legislation which would eliminate certain banking fees, including fees for the encashment of checks. The bill tabled at the time is still before Parliament.
Mr. Jackson, the Honorable Fitz Jackson, the champion for the poor. Good night, sir.
Good night to you, Sir Andre, and good night to your listeners. Thanks for the invitation to join you tonight.
How are you doing, Sir Jackson?
I am doing reasonably well. Of course, I would have been doing much better if I had gotten a favorable judgment and what I would think is a correct judgment. But that is the nature of our judicial process. You win some at some stages and you lose, but this is just round one. The merit of the case remains undisturbed, notwithstanding the judgment today. And for that reason, as was indicated by my lead attorney, we intend to appeal the matter, and we expect that the remedy will be obtained in a favorable judgment for me in respect of the case, but most importantly, to protect the banking public of Jamaica against what I deem to be, and our legal team deem to be, an illegal action. And I want to make the point that the case before the BNS was in respect of one specific banking fee, and that is the check encashment fee.
Yes.
The public will be aware that there is currently, and I think it was covered in that news piece you ran just a moment ago.
Yes.
There is a bill before the Parliament which would explicitly prohibit the charging of encashment fee among a range of other fees which are being charged by banks, such as fees for deposits, fees for withdrawals, fees for inquiries, among many other ones, fees for banking on Saturdays, even though the bank is open, fees for minimum balance breaches that are repetitive and would erode the balances in persons' accounts. For example, if the bank imposed a minimum balance of, say, $10,000, and you happen to go to $9,999, knowingly or unknowingly, the banks will every month charge a fee that erodes that account to zero and in minus and cause you to owe the bank. Things like those are what are addressed in the bill before Parliament that the current government has voted down, and say to the banks Charge whatever you charge. Extract as much as you extract to the disadvantage of the banking public. So this lawsuit only spoke to one element of what the bill would do on a broader basis. But as I indicated in that piece, I had expected and hoped for a better decision, but it's not the end of the day. It's only the first phase or first round.
So you're saying that you're going to appeal it?
Based on the ruling that we have gotten, enough.
Just a moment. Somebody has on a device and the device is echoing. Is it you, Mr. Jackson?
No, I have no other device on except my link with you now.
Ishmael,
no, I don't have any other.
All right, well, I don't know where the echo is coming from, but let us continue.
Yes. So I want to make the point that the lawsuit that was before the court was in respect of the Bills of Exchange Act, which clearly defines what a check is. A check is no ordinary piece of paper.
Yes.
A check, by virtue of the law, the Bills of Exchange Act, is a negotiable instrument. In other words, it rises to almost a similar level of a bank note once it fulfills certain conditions, such as the name is properly stated in it, the date is there, the signature is there representing the person who claimed to sign the check. That is what you call the presentment of the check, fulfilling all of those conditions. Once those things are met, the Bills of Exchange Act says the bank is obliged to honor the check and make the payment unconditionally.
So that means that they shouldn't be taking payment for the check leave.
Correct. You're up 100% correct. Unconditionally. And our contention is that the bank's imposition of a fee for the encashment establishes a condition which in turn breach the provisions of the Bills of Exchange Act as it regards to a negotiable instrument, which a check qualifies as. That is fundamental.
So you're saying, so Mr. Jackson, for clarity, the Bills of Exchange Act that has been in commission for all these years. So are you saying, therefore, that banks have been illegally taking funds from customers by paying for checks?
Correct. And that's the basis of the lawsuit. That the charging of that fee establishes now a condition and changes the definition of a negotiable instrument as provided for that in that bill. What the judge ruled while making a reference to the Bills of Exchange Act, the full brunt of the judgment today was based on the Banking Services Act, and which was not the basis of my lawsuit.
If I may, Member Jackson, is it?
Sure.
Aren't the check leave, isn't it issued by the bank?
Correct.
So if it's issued by the bank, are you saying that even though they are the issuer, they still charge for each leave?
Well, they charge the per account holder which is a customer of theirs, a fee for that. But they went and do a double dip and say the person to whom you make that check have to pay a fee to collect the amount that you say that the bank should pay on your behalf. Now, that is manifestly unfair and unjust. But that's not the crux of the lawsuit.
What's the crux?
The crux of the lawsuit is that the prevailing act, legislation that defines a check as a negotiable instrument, the charging of a fee is a breach of that law.
Oh yeah?
That is the gravamen of this lawsuit. The judge's ruling is based on the Banking Services Act that has promulgated a code of conduct that says banks can charge a fee for miscellaneous services that they provide, including that of encashment. But we must trace the genesis of this practice of encashment fee.
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, before I proceed to that, what was interesting in the judgment? The judgment basically says that BNS is not BNS everywhere in Jamaica at all its branches. BNS where your check is issued, or the account where the account from which your check was issued, is different from all other branches. And branch from which a check was issued is the issuing bank, and the bank that you go to collect is a collecting bank. So a bank, each, the license granted to the licensees, the Bank of Jamaica, NCB, and all the rest of them, it's one banking license, one operator with multiple points of operations. Because what a branch is, is the branch is basically saying to the public, you can come to us, Bank A, at all these different points for your convenience. So if you open an account at one branch, you're not opening it at 10 or 20 different branches, at 10 or 20 different banks. You're opening at the same bank with multiple points.
Different location, right?
But the ruling is saying that no, each branch is like an entity of itself that can enter into a separate contract to determine the charging of a fee. Take to its logical conclusion. A branch in Montego Bay of the same bank can charge a different fee from one in Linstead or one in Morant Bay.
So if I'm getting you, let me use another analogy. There is a franchise in Jamaica called KFC. So you're saying the ruling is saying that a KFC in Kingston can charge a separate price from a KFC in Montego Bay, but it's still one franchise?
Well, I don't believe that's a good analogy. I tell you what.
Not an analogy at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good analogy because in the case of the bank, once you enter...
Let me tell you a better analogy. Tell me if I'm wrong. Meaning KFC, Burger King, Tasties, they're all food service provider. Am I on the right path, Mr.?
Yes.
However, based on the license that them get for food service, them can charge any amount that they wish to charge. You get where I'm coming from? So that is what is happening. Everybody have the same license in the banking industry. NCB, Scotia, BM, all of them have them different charges.
That is basically what the ruling would imply. That each different entity can do their own thing, but in the specific case, it is treating each branch of the same entity is a separate entity by itself, in that it's a collecting entity of the fees, and they can enter into a separate contract by themselves. That, for me and our team, is totally unacceptable. And that's one of the points that we will make too, no doubt, with the guidance of our legal team when we go to make an appeal. What that ruling is also saying, if someone has an account in Morant Bay at BNS and draw your check based on their account in Morant Bay, and you are living in Negril or Montego Bay, for you not to pay a fee, you have to go to St. Thomas. And what I find very interesting, the basis of establishing the bona fide of the check and whether it fulfills the requirements for encashment, what they call presentment in legal term. It's the same platform that is used in all the branches across the country, because it's an electronic exercise rather than a physical exercise. So the branch in Marant Bay can look on the same information as the one in St. James. But yet, the ruling is saying, no, they are separate entities, and by extension, they can impose their own charges for such an encashment. That I have a challenge with, and operationally, from a reasonable standpoint, and also in terms of the provision of the law. Because when the Bank of Jamaica grants a banking license to a bank, it doesn't give multiple licenses.
Right.
It gives one license to that one entity. And in the Banking Services Act, it authorizes, and the Banking Act, it allows for that licensee to operate multiple branches. So they don't have to make separate application for each location they're operating. They just have one application which is approved, and you have to maintain the standards that is granted to the one licensee that has been approved. So there goes another example of the inconsistencies and just the impracticality of the ruling. And we wish to make that clear to a higher court when the time comes. Notwithstanding the outcome today of that fee, one of the positives, if I might say so, out of this lawsuit is that subsequent to the filing of the suit and the points raised in the suit and the presentations, BNS has since around July or April, sometime last year, terminated the application of encashment fees. And
what about the other banks? Because I'm sure NCB did raise some fees.
Banks, I believe their other banks are still continuing. But also, too, while I'm on that point, I might share with you that subsequent to tabling that bill in Parliament regarding that range of fees that are being charged, I had recognized that one other fee, which was a breach of an existing legislation, was the dormancy fee.
Dormancy, that means that when you bank your account, you have no money on it.
No. Dormancy fee, if you have $1 million in the account.
Oh, and you don't use the account for a while, they can charge the account.
They deem it to be dormant and penalizing you for not going in and out of your account.
Oh,
no, you
really?
know. Yes. You know. The average Jamaican use a bank to keep your money safely, to put it away. And the banking laws gives the banks, deposit-taking institution, the authority and the privilege to use that money in deposit for investments, which is to make loans, to lend other persons. Yet, the bank is penalizing you for giving them the money to use to make money for themselves.
Interesting.
But the genesis of that, I had subsequently found out. In the Banking Services Act, you will see from time to time this advertisement in the newspapers with a whole list of accounts and tell persons that, if you are one of these account holders, then you need to come to the bank, because those are accounts for which there's no activity for the past 15 years.
Yes.
The law says when an account remains dormant for up to 15 years, one, they have to run the ad to advise the depositors publicly. And if nobody turns up to acknowledge their deposit in the account, the banks are obliged to turn those monies over to the accountant general. And it goes into the consolidated funds. What the banks decided to do, they never felt pleased that they were turning over all of these monies to the
the consult
consolidated
fund.
fund. So what they impose a dormancy fee which gradually erodes.
Oh, so money.
It's a smaller amount they have to turn over.
So they've skim off some off at the top because they must say.
You are right on point. So it was a skimming operation to reduce the amount that they have to turn over. Because remember, while the money is sitting in the bank, they have use of it. The non-activity on our account does not prohibit the bank from lending that money as part of their reserve. So they are benefiting from it. Yet you are penalizing the account holder.
Quick question. How long though would they consider an account to be dormant?
He said it's 15 years.
15 years, okay.
No, a little bit of qualification needed here. 15 years apply for the period of dormancy that they have to turn it over to the accountant general.
Okay,
however, through a code of conduct provision subsequent to the Banking Services Act in 2014, I think the dormancy period is defined to be either 6 months or 2 years for it to be deemed to be dormant. But it doesn't speak to anything about application of fees, just for the designation as being an inactive account.
Yes.
Or otherwise a dormant account. You can begin to treat it as dormant as of that specified period in the code of conduct provisions by the central bank. So they have what they did, is that imposing the dormancy fee. If you have, for argument's sake, $20,000,
yes,
and they apply $500 every month, each year, 12 times 500, that's $6,000
out of the 20,000.
Gone already for them.
So within 5 years, that's 5 times 6. That's $30,000.
$30,000.
So you owe them 10,000.
You are in a minus now. If after those years you come in and put $100,000, they take out that minus amount.
10,000, yes.
Because they're saying you owe them for having nothing in your account.
Mighty God.
That was what prevailed with the dormancy fee. However, when I recognize what was happening there, and that it was a breach of the existing act, Section 36 of the Banking Services Act, I publicly announced that I was going to take out a lawsuit against them. Within 2 weeks,
yes,
they all suspended the dormancy fee. So since 2018, they have stopped charging the dormancy fee, from which they have collected billions of dollars.
Wow.
In my opinion, illegally, and you know how we treat illegal income in this country. It's deemed to be ill-gotten gain.
Illicit enrichment.
Hey! All the bank them, Uncle Fitzy. All the bank them are do illicit enrichment.
Integrity Commission can't find them too.
All it doesn't apply to banks, the public servants, the Integrity Commission. So all of those fees that would have been collected illegally would have been ill-gotten gains or illegally collected fees. And the government of the day close their eyes and say, okay, banks, do whatever you want to do.
Wow.
You know, if a man was accustomed to rob the gas station at the grocery store down the road, and over 1 year or 2 years, they would have robbed $10 million. The fact that they have stopped robbing the man, meaning illegally taking his money away, does not mean that the money that he has took before belongs to him.
It's not right.
Because he took it illegally.
So
this government This government has never gone to the court since I've raised this matter for over 9 years now.
Whoa.
To seek a judicial
review
to establish the legality of these.
Yeah, but
normally,
but they're seeking judicial, a particular man seeking judicial review against the Integrity Commission.
Call him such man. Just say such man.
It shows the priorities of this government.
It shows what the priorities of the government is, whose interest it is prepared to use the courts to protect, and whose interest it is prepared to leave vulnerable to those who are powerful and mighty in this country.
So, Mr.
It's a very interesting point you have raised, Andre.
So, yes. Mr. Jackson, just for clarity, does the banks count that? Because I know every month they publish their statements of accounts. Do they publish those monies that they would have taken from the dormancy accounts within their profit margin?
They lump them all in fees.
So you're not going to know.
Fees. You have
take up people money and I say a profit that in fees?
Yeah, man. The banks report their fees in basically two categories: income, interest income, and fees.
Wow.
So the fees include those and all other fees. But remember, almost half of the profit that the banks make now are from fees. You see, brother, you have to understand, the banks have become so intellectually lazy that rather than spend time and brain power to come up with creative financial instruments that can attract people to go into transaction with them from which they can earn money, they sat down and say to themselves, let us earn money from the money we already have from people who have accounts with us. It's no risk. Because they don't lend any, they take from what is already in the bank. You ever ask yourself the question, how the banks are making increased profits every year in an economy that is not growing?
Hey! Repeat that statement, Uncle Fix.
The banks continue to make increased profit out of financial transactions in an economy that is not growing. So they are able to do that because they don't have to rely upon transactions of loans. Because look, and I want to make it clear, I'm in support of banks. Every modern society needs banking for its operation. But our banks have said we don't want to spend too much time and effort assessing loan applications and monitoring loan portfolio and try to assist borrowers to make their business more productive, that they can earn profit and we can collect income from lending them monies. Once you make the money and put it in the bank and you want to use the money which you have already made, we want some of it. And they're going to take their some of it by the imposition of a myriad of fees. As a gentleman told me, if you walk into the bank these days and say hello, they're likely to charge you a fee.
So, Uncle Fix, give me a breakdown of me going into the bank and what do they take in terms of fees from me.
If you're going to make a deposit of $1,000, if you look at the statement every month, they extract an amount for each of the deposit that you made. So at the end of the day, you have less than what you put in. If you go into the bank to withdraw some of what you have in deposit, right, they debit your account a fee for having deducted some of your money that you had in the account.
My God.
If you go into the bank, some bank on a Saturday when they're open, they charge a special fee for doing banking on a Saturday. If you go into the bank who no longer issue passbook to get a statement or report on transactions on your account, they charge you a fee. any information you want against your account, they charge you a fee. I give you an example. Some of them have a minimum balance account, balance provision, and it's the same. And it would be deemed a special account, special minimum balance. Say it's $10,000 you're required in this minimum balance account. Yes, minimum balance, they would probably pay you a little bit more interest on your deposit than a regular one. If for argument's sake, and you might agree to it rightfully, if for argument's sake, the minimum balance is $10,000 and you unwittingly or not made a withdrawal from that account that brings it to $1 less than the minimum balance. One, they serve you no notice that you have breached the balance. They just keep quiet. But having breached the balance, the minimum balance, some impose a fee for breaching it, keep it open, impose a fee, some for $500, some for $450, and what you're now going to your bed saying that you're okay, you know, but it's $1 below.
Yes.
And you remember people put money in banks for safekeeping. You don't intend to be using the money every month and every day. You put it away. But it happened to be $1 below. Every month they impose that fee until it gets to $0 and below. In the bill that I have before Parliament, bill is not proposing to eliminate minimum balance account, but it imposes a responsibility on the bank to say, in the case of minimum balance accounts and the account holder breach, you can charge that one fee once, but you're obliged to alert the customer that they are in breach of the account by going below the balance. They need to come and put in some money. If they don't come and put in some money, then the bank account will revert to a normal account where you don't get the privilege that a minimum balance would provide. But in the same breath, you are not penalized for being. So the account holder is not put in a worse situation by virtue of him not knowing that he's in breach of that. Because the bank knows it monitors these things. It has electronic system to alert when these minimums are breached. The everyday Jamaican don't have those kinds of mechanisms to alert them. And whereas I'm saying in that bill, these are protections that the government must ensure that the customers enjoy.
I want to ask you a question, Uncle Fixie. How long now have you had this bill in front of the Parliament?
The bill was tabled near the end of 2017.
Hey, Lord Jesus. Uncle Fix,
systematic scamming.
You have had this bill in front of the Parliament from 2017.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
How advanced is this bill?
Well, the bill, quite frankly, based on changes that occur, would need some upgrading. But I maintain if you keep it as it was then from now, at least it provides some very basic minimum protection. But it needs to be improved based on the changes that have occurred over time. And as you asked me that question about how long, you know, some persons in an attempt to be tribal,
criminals
and partisan.
Yeah.
So why is it that this PNP MP just finds strength and energy to be talking about this, and when he was in government and not doing anything about it? Furthest from the truth. I tabled the private members' motion on this in November 2013 while I was on the government bench.
On the Simpson Miller administration?
In the Simpson Miller administration. That's when I commenced it while my party formed the government. I tabled the motion with an intention, not for it to be partisan. In that motion, I asked for it to be referred to the Economy and Production Committee of the Parliament.
Yes, chaired
which
by...
was chaired by the opposition.
The
committee...
I was just about to ask him, who Who was the chairman?
Chairman of that committee at the time was Carl Samuda.
Oh Lord,
oh Lord, what are you saying?
Carl Samuda chaired that committee.
Isn't he a government minister now?
No,
He
he was
no.
a backbencher, them finished with him.
But he subsequently became a cabinet member and a senior cabinet member. But what is of interest, the report emanated from that committee, which was tabled by the chairman of the committee, Carl Samuda. All the members across both sides signed the report. All the members, JLP and PNP members, put their signature to say, we support these recommendations. The bill that I have in Parliament is the very recommendations that was in that report. That bipartisan report.
So what happened now?
The JLP members supported it when they were in opposition. And when they got into government, they turned their back on it.
I wonder
Remember
why.
the administration changed in February 2016.
2016. February, I will always remember that day.
The reason why I tabled that bill, because when the new government came into being, I approached the then Minister of Finance to say, on the report, on the show, the failure, the intransigence after 1 year of nudging caused me to say the only way I could get some movement is to table a bill which the standing orders of the parliament grant me that privilege as a member of the parliament. So I tabled the private members bill with those very bipartisan set of recommendations and put it before the government. They resisted it. After much prodding, I got it debated, and all the then JLP members, including the Prime Minister, and the majority of who are there, voted against that bipartisan set of recommendations.
Repeat that, So after they agreed with you in 2013, and the bill now in their hand as government, them take a 360 on you?
Indeed.
Well,
they agreed with it up until 2015.
Yes.
Right? It started in 2013. And by the way, I must point out, because I never wanted it to be partisan, why I referred it to that committee that was chaired by the opposition, it required in the motion for the BOJ to do some studies and advise the committee, because I never wanted to be some notional recommendations. I wanted the recommendations coming out of this inquiry to be grounded in empirical data.
Yes.
So I
wanted the BOJ to set the standards.
Indeed. Not the committee members, just we politicians by ourselves.
So you want
technical,
the people who have the professional expertise.
Indeed.
To set the standards for the banking fees and the regulations.
To provide the basis on which any consideration should be given about these fees which are being charged. So the Bank of Jamaica is the one who gathered the data to advise and inform the parliamentary members on what prevails in the local economy, the regional economy, and some selective international jurisdiction. That was how we approached it. The government members, the JLP government members, have decided that no, now that they are government, they don't want to disturb the people who own the banks or the ones who have interest in the banks. Because the truth be told, when I was there talking about it, they never paid any mind, because they had wanted it, they had hoped that it's going to be a 9-day wonder. When I tabled the bill and they saw that it was going to become law, they jumped up and said, no.
Wow.
They asked for a meeting with me. I met with all the banks subsequent to that. And to my surprise.
What year was this?
Sorry?
What year?
This was in 2018.
Okay.
To my surprise, none of them had actually read the bill that was before Parliament. They admitted that to me.
because they never expect anything to happen. And in my view, they felt that because they have the government in their pockets, they don't need to listen to me. They don't need to pay any attention to that. They will go undisturbed. Is when they saw that if it had succeeded in the vote, then they would have to comply.
So the long and short of it then is that they were all in agreement, and just as Nicodemus, it would depend Damascus Road again. On the way to Damascus Road, them just switch fire.
Indeed.
Including the Prime Minister.
Well, put it this way: the bill, the report from the Economy and Production Committee was approved by the House of all members. All members. All members. And
all on Damascus Road.
Why does it seem like we need Hansard? Because we never see who exactly was in Parliament on that day.
Well, a copy of the report can show you the signatures that are in the report.
Okay. Okay.
Gordon Shaw signed it. Darrell Voss signed it. Samuda signed it. In fact, interestingly, when Mr. Samuda as chairman, who opened the debate and presented the report, my initial remarks is that I never believe I, who moved the motion, never even need to comment because of how forceful Mr. Samuda presented the report, capturing the deliberations and the sentiments of its members. I merely participate in that debate out of courtesy as the mover of the motion that the report was reported on. And the same Mr. Samuda voted against it. The same Mr. Shaw voted against it. The same Mr. Vaz voted against it, among others. I can have a photograph with all of the members who voted against it.
My God.
And for me, quite frankly, when I hear a couple of years ago when there was an outcry about these increase in fee charges, and the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister and the Minister of Justice, right, say how unreasonable these banks are. That was all crocodile tears. Because when they had a chance to act, they did nothing. But what is also interesting?
Yes.
What is also interesting in this matter? Yes, a bill is tabled. One member or the other might not necessarily agree with everything in the bill.
Right.
The normal democratic process is that if you have an issue with a provision, you seek to get that particular provision amended to reflect what you think it should be. If you're going to give your support or if you're disposed to giving a support in the main. Not one member of the government sought to make any amendment to the bill that was tabled up until this day. Not one member, including the Prime Minister.
Wow.
Including the Minister of Finance. Including Audley Shaw, who was then Minister of Finance. Not one said, okay, Fitz, I don't like this provision. I think it should be this way. Take this out and put it this way. Not one. I go further. The initial bill that was tabled in 2018 that was voted against, and the bankers sought audience with me on it. And I met with them. And then, as I said earlier on, I found out none of them have actually read the bill that they were opposed to. So they were opposing this bill that they never read. Interestingly. I said to them, okay, take 2 weeks, read the bill, go through it line by line, and indicate to me any provision in it that you find egregious to your operation and recommend what you think it should be.
Should be done.
That courtesy was extended. To their credit, I would say they did respond and they made some suggestions. Some of them led to some adjustment in the subsequent bill. Some of them was unacceptable. And for me, some was just non-negotiable.
Yes.
But some of the provisions that ask for 30-day notice and no, that is too short, they would need a longer period. I made the changes. Because we never set out to fight anybody. We just want to have something fair, reasonable, and just. So if they said operationally they need more time for this or that, they were accommodated. Sometimes not the full period that they wanted to be, but better than what was there before. So that was the kind of engagement and facilitation that was done for them. The government members never sought to make one single amendment to any provision of the bill. What they did was just voted against it en bloc.
Whoa.
None of it.
So I have a question.
In the interest of their constituents and in the interest of the many thousands of Jamaicans who are suffering under the egregious banking system and banking fees in Jamaica, this present government, knowing that many of their constituents are suffering, did nothing in the interest of their people.
But everybody
as a matter of record, what you said is so.
So my question is, given where the lawsuit is now, would you be open to reintroducing a private member's motion of its kind with a few tweaks to the parliament again, to give the government, and I want you to listen to me, to give the government another chance at redemption, because they cannot be so barefaced. So just for the sake of giving them the chance, you will reintroduce the motion just to see if they will entertain it.
Well, you might be surprised. That opportunity has been existing for the past 6 years, but they have not taken it up.
Oh, whoa.
For the past 6 years.
Oh, whoa.
For the past 6 years until this very moment, that opportunity remains there for them to take up. And it's interesting that you asked the question, because I have said to them, let's talk. Let's talk. Tell me what you find. Tell me which of the provisions you find offensive or you need change. Not one. Not one. But this is the consequence of the kind of political tribalism that exists in the country, where many of our voters are not prepared to hold governments accountable, parties accountable to them in respect of those things which are in their interests.
So,
go ahead.
When the PNP administration becomes the next government, what is Member Jackson going to do? As a matter of fact, are you going up in the next election?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Just let me I just
Andre,
want to know
easy,
you're going in the next election. So, seeing that you're going in the next election and there's high probability that the People's National Party will form the next government, how do you plan to proceed with this?
Very simple. Very simple. Not by virtue of a promise that I'm making. When the bill that is now sitting before the parliament was put to the vote, all the Jamaica Labour Party members, including the Prime Minister, voted to kill it.
So you're going to resurrect it with
No, pause a bit. All the PNP members of parliament then, including the current leader of the party, voted for it. All of them. That very bill that was defeated by the Jamaica Labour Party members is the very bill that remains before the Parliament of Jamaica.
Still.
So when the PNP forms the majority, it will have the authority and the power to pass that very bill that the Jamaica Labour Party voted to defeat, that very bill that seeks to protect the everyday Jamaican
the
Yes.
pensioner, gentlemen, the marginally employed,
yes,
the
Right.
student,
Right.
yes,
right, the one who receive
part benefit, yes,
all of those persons that the government says you are on your own. The banks can do what they want. When the next PNP when the next government is formed by the PNP, we are saying we will protect you against unfair and unreasonable banking practices.
wow.
And as I intend, thanks to the privilege of the voters of South St. Catherine, when they return me for the 8th time.
What you say, Fitz Jackson?
8-star general.
It's 8th time you... No, Fitz Jackson. How much time you win the constituency?
It is 7 so far. The next one will be the 8th.
Mike, no, me, I forgot to sit on a Fitz Jackson foot, you know. Uncle Fixie.
When they grant me the privilege of remaining their member of parliament,
yes,
I have a duty to deliver.
As the 8-star general.
I don't like these denotation. As their servant. Right? Because they are really my boss, because they are the ones who
modest, man, but it's true.
I didn't hire myself.
8 symbolizes new beginning, you know.
Well, this will then be a new beginning for all Jamaicans and non-Jamaicans too,
yes,
who hold a bank account and who enter into transactions. Because you don't have to have a bank account to have to deal with the bank, you know.
Yes.
Because you will be without an account, but you have a check made out to you. You have to interface with the bank. And we would seek to protect your interests in those transactions. And I give the assurance, if there is nothing else, this one, I will fight to the last breath in my body, because I see it as a duty and as an obligation to protect those who are least able to protect themselves. That's what democracy is all about. Giving power to the people so that those of us who are elected can act in their interest and on their behalf, not on behalf of the privilege and special interests who can stand on their own.
And this is not a manifesto promise, right?
No, this is a philosophical commitment and
there we go.
A philosophical obligation. And I can speak on behalf of my colleagues in the PNP while I'm speaking on behalf of myself. Hold me personally to it. Hold us. But I am prepared to be the point person in this regard. On behalf of my party and on behalf of my fellow colleagues.
I see.
It is, you know, I must tell you the honest truth. It hurts a lot when you see a man who do a little gardening.
Yes.
And a man pay him $1,500 to do a little work. Or $1,000 for chop out a little place for him. And the man draw a check to him and give him. And then go to the bank where the check was drawn on. Whether it is NCB or BNS or CIBC or anyone. That the man would have the account at. And a bank will take out $400 and $500 out of that, the $1,000 check.
Mighty God.
It happened to me too. It happened to me too, Uncle Fitz. Believe me, let me tell you. I did some work and I had a check and I had an account with the bank. I won't call the bank's name. And my employer also had an account with the bank, and they charged me $350 just to change the check to put it in my account.
And bear in mind, Andre, that $350 that my friend referred to did not come from the bank's account, meaning their money that was being
No, they take it out of the check money.
And the account holders account. The bank's money is undisturbed.
So Yeah, it's true because
And he's made poorer by $350, which now caused the bank to be richer by billions of dollars. This is what the Prime Minister and the government presides over. And you know, when I hear these loose talk by the government,
the economy doing well because
the
bank's doing well,
protecting people. And I know of these
but
things.
But the money a jingle. When I'm MP, them say money a jingling a people pocket. You see any money a jingling in the people them pocket, Mr. Sir Jackson?
Well, maybe there are a couple of coins.
Oh, hey, where's the coin?
Yeah, maybe a couple of coins. But nothing that can be meaningful to the everyday Jamaicans. Now, gentlemen, there's a lot that we can do as a government, as a country.
Yes.
That is not being done, and the government is blatantly refusing to do because they don't have the courage, they don't have the conviction to stand up for those.
They don't even have the moral fiber, Mr. Jackson. Let us here. They don't have the moral fiber. When a government can look at the when a prime minister can be having 28 bank accounts and doing transaction out of charity fund.
No man, Andre, you need to ask the member how much bank you have that many bank accounts, Member Jackson?
A small fraction of that.
Okay. We have to ask, we have to ask.
Very small fraction of that. Very,
because I don't know. One more question. Have you ever tried to open a bank account without money?
My name is Fitz Jackson,
Oh, okay, sir.
So, what do you mean by that, Mr. Jackson? You don't have that privilege?
I don't have those privileges.
Oh. So, what name you need to be able to open that account without money?
You're a very bright gentleman. You can advise me.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to leave it there, sir. I'm going to leave it there, sir. Mr. Jackson, easy, But I want to turn the conversation a little to... I'm sure you have heard today that the Prime Minister and the government has opened the NIDS office. And people can now go and get their NIDS card. What is your take on the NIDS, Sir Fitz, in light of a member of the government saying nothing is private?
It's very worrying. It's very worrying because, as I recall, the member said he was able to access certain information. And those are unauthorized access, to the best of my knowledge.
Yes.
In the reference case. So it's very troubling. I don't know if those comments were loose comments or they were truthful comments or factual comments. But it's troubling. But if it is loose comments, it speaks to a high level of irresponsibility, at the very least. Every government, whether you're a JLP or PNP, have a duty to at least try to instill confidence in the various authorities of government.
Yes.
To instill trust. Because for effective governance and governing, trust is a very essential ingredient.
Yes.
True.
And therefore, by our actions and our utterances, we should never do or say anything that can compromise or undermine trust. Because I believe in the inevitability of the state as an authority. But the state must be trustworthy.
So you're saying that
those who have authority in it must be trustworthy.
So you therefore, as a member of parliament, as a legislator, you're concerned with those who have access to information and using those information that can abuse the rights of the citizen.
Very much so.
And if they could have done that to the leader of the opposition, what about the person down a Moko? What about the person down a Lilliput?
Right.
Anybody for which they have some ill intent is vulnerable. Anybody.
And the NIDS would have access to your fingerprint. Am I correct?
Sorry?
The NIDS would have access to your fingerprint.
Oh, yes, that's part of the data. But thanks for the lawsuit that the People's National Party made. It provides an option. It's not obligatory as well.
It's not mandatory anymore.
Not mandatory anymore. You have to voluntarily agree.
What would we do without the People's National Party? Mighty.
Well, dog would eat our little supper.
My God.
And you know, it's interesting to make that point because it underscores the duty and responsibility of an opposition of whichever party, quite frankly. We never did what we did just for the quote-unquote PNP sake. We did that in fulfillment of our responsibility to the people of this country. That's the basis of that lawsuit.
Just for clarity, if the People's National Party legal team then did not carry that lawsuit in the courts,
it would be mandatory now.
It would have been mandatory for you to give your fingerprint.
Not only would it be yes, it would be mandatory, but that's not the only part of it. If the bill, as it was in its original form, was to prevail, if you were not registered under the bill, complying with the mandatory requirement, if you get sick and go to the hospital could deny you service as a Jamaican.
What is
it? What?
Yeah.
So that means that under the NIDS, if you never had the NIDS ID, you would have been an alien in Jamaica.
Yes. And it would provide them with the authority to deny you service.
What can go so?
What? When you hear that, Jamaica?
Well, the court ruled that could not go so. So we were saved by the court. But remember, we have a tendency to forget some very important things.
Remember
that the Prime Minister and the government, when the previous Chief Justice demitted office, sought to put the next Chief Justice on probation.
Yes.
Yes.
And to reserve the right to revoke his appointment at any time that the Prime Minister deemed that he's not behaving in the way that
in the interest of the Prime Minister.
In the interest of the Prime Minister. So, in effect, what the Prime Minister sought to do was to have his personal judge. Much like what we see happening north of us.
Oh, you mean like...
Oh, up north. Yeah, man, up north, right.
Mr. Trump is carrying in a particular questionable man who is now going to be the Attorney General.
Our Constitution sets out 3 very separate and distinct governmental authority: the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. Separate. And there's an oversight function of the judiciary in respect to laws of the country. This Prime Minister sought to deny. I'm thankful of what we had done ourselves, the opposition, and with the support of civil society and many members of the judiciary themselves, who saw that their independence were being withered away by what was attempted. And again, it's a demonstration of where the will of the people, not only the will, but the action of the people, the action of the people prevail. Not to protect the People's National Party, but to protect the Jamaican people. Wow. And I want to make it abundantly clear. we as a party are useless unless the people stand with us on matters that are in their interests. We don't want, we as a party, I personally don't want the people of this country to stand with the PNP or me just for us sake. We want you to stand with us on matters of interest and concern to you in protection of your own interests.
Yes.
And so we will forever rely on the support of the people in the mission or missions that we pursue on their behalf.
Oh, interesting.
So to where we started, to close on where we started on the lawsuit, for me, it is a setback, but it is not a turn back. Because my own resolve is unwavering, unbending, unyielding, and I will seek justice where I know it lies. I have not given up on the judiciary. Our system of law provide for different tiers of judgment. We were not successful at the first tier, and we utilized the other provisions that is available to me as an individual and to all Jamaicans and to all institutions and entities in this country. I am law-abiding and will use the legal provisions as much as is possible to secure what we think is fair, just, and in the interest of our country.
You know what I appreciate tonight, Mr. Jackson, is that you use the opportunity to break down the ambits of the legislation that many people never understood. And I'm inviting you to come back to this program more regular and more often so that you can break down the laws to the people, because you're one of the parliamentarians that you can stand up on your feet and can debate on many different issues in the parliament. Not many of them on the other side, all them can do is put just present.
And not next.
And not next. Them can't stand up and reason and debate the issues the proper way. So I am just asking you to come back to this program before the end of the year. All right?
Mr. Andre, I don't want you to appear as if you're some saint in this matter. You invited me tonight to come and join you on a matter. And I asked you for a convenient time for you and agreed on one convenient for me. And I'm here with you. To the extent that I am not available, it is because you have chosen not to extend an invitation.
Okay. So it is for me to call on Uncle Fitz Jackson, and he will surely answer to his availability.
I go further. I don't walk into anyone's house without an invitation.
All right. No
yes.
Problem. One of my grandfather had a man to call. Yes, Mr. Marsh, what you saying now?
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Fitz Jackson. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Mr. Jackson, yeah, you know. All right. More, you know who this is. Let me remind you, good. You remember when you that Melmac Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Man used to tell you down a parliament sometime. You know what I'm saying?
Are you with that?
But listen to me now, Mr. Jackson. Don't talk and go on like you're afraid, because all way else are true. But when the bill come to parliament, them call you such man. Andrew Holness, let me call out in here. Andrew Holness tell his member of parliament not to support the bill. And the one of them turn them back on it. And you know what happened in the next election? The banking sector gave Andrew Holness party more than billion and only for dollar. The BNP couldn't match them in that election.
What you say, Mr. Marsh?
Billions of dollars them get from the banking sector that the JP them get.
Oh, the Labour Party.
To the banking sector.
Oh.
So the banks know how to make back the money. So the money that they give the JLP, the PSP couldn't match them. This bill, them have money on top of money to go run elections. So we know out here, even without that, we know out the road there. What really did that go on? But when you see the banking sector, and a little that, and so them know, and them money that them are make back.
Oh!
Mr. Marshy attack, you know. Jeez, I need to drink
well,
something.
Interesting, Mr. Marsh.
The couldn't match the JLP because the banking sector give them a whole heap of money.
The kickback.
I mentioned a while ago the Chief Justice, when they put the Chief Justice from probation, Andrew Wellness use a word. I mean, I know they make people get with them, make him get away with it. He said that the man must give him some result.
Oh! Performance evaluation.
Yeah. So we know the whole thing. We know how the whole thing go. So if the PSP wouldn't get no money from, not if the place make them not put on the PSP. PSP not get no money. Because the banking sector wants to stay and continue rip off poor people. But Mr. Jackson, here, you say go appeal. You know, somewhere a Marshall came here in the 70s. You know, they speak Portuguese, them language. Am I right or am I right?
Yes, you're correct.
He used a word. A luta continua.
What that?
Translated in
he well enough.
the struggle continues.
You're Ishmael too young.
What that mean, Mr. Jackson?
It means the struggle continues.
The struggle continues. Yes.
A luta continua. They can Google it. Continue, Mr. Jackson. The struggle continue. You shall be victorious.
All right, sir, Marsh.
Thank you, sir. But, you know, it's interesting the point the caller made about finances. You know, my last election in 2020 is the first I ever see so much money spent against me in that election for all the previous 6 elections I've had.
Really?
The amount of money that was spent in my constituency against me, I've never seen it before combined.
Whoa.
And it is for that reason, you know, why I am eternally grateful to the residents and voters of South St. Catherine.
You are not wrong, you know, P. You aren't wrong, because I do remember, and it was an island-wide. I remember there were regular kids coming to me that had just recently got their voter's ID with green shirts and about $20,000 wrapped in each green shirts.
Oh.
Regular 18-year-olds. Some of them even had bikes that was rented for them, and some had cars that was rented for them.
But I can tell you in my case, I've never seen so much money. In previous elections, because of the margin that I've been able to win, in the main, they have kind of turned their back on my seats and given up on it. But the last election, there was a resolve to remove me. And the amount of money that I saw spent in that. And the truth of the matter, some of them admitted to me after. Some of what gentleman just mentioned. And as I said, you know, I am eternally grateful for the people of the voters, the residents and voters. Because even those who don't vote, the support, moral support and support they give otherwise to ensure that I remain in Parliament. No money I can't pay them for what they have done for me. And you could understand, out of those experiences, they have really only deepened my own resolve in ensuring that I stand up for them, because that's what they vote for.
Yes.
They vote for representatives to stand by them and to stand up for them. And what they have done for me personally in ensuring that I return to the Parliament, I am even more grateful and have a greater resolve to serve in their interests as best as I can. It has been a love relationship between me and my constituents. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy seeing the transformations that have taken place in the many different lives across the constituency, from Elsha in the far south back to Quarry Hill and Clifton in the northern side.
Where then come demolish the people their house.
And funny enough, even that demolition, I would say to you quite frankly, it has even make them probably more resolute than I am in ensuring that I remain. And when you see people stand up for you, the very least you can do, the very least, is to stand up with them and stand up for them. So yes, the money, it will be a factor, but I've always believed that we are a people with dignity, and our pride and self-respect cannot be purchased. And anyone that attempts to purchase that is the highest level of disrespect that they can extend to our people. I want our people to remain self-respecting, remain resolved in the pursuit of what is in our interest as a people and our country, because we can be better. And we're not going to be better just because of what the government do, but we're going to be better because of our own resolve and what we demand of our government.
Well, Jamaica, that's where we have it for tonight. We had the opportunity to having Fitz Jackson, former chairman to the People's National Party and member of Parliament for St. Catherine's, joining us tonight. And we had our resident, Ishmael Douglas. But join me back tomorrow night as we will keep the discussions and conversations going. So thanks again, Sir Jackson, and thanks again, Ishmael.
Good night, gentlemen. Good night to your listeners and viewers.
I see somebody just coming on the screen there. Just put them on for a second, please. This is the power of campaigning, This
my
is
brother.
Campaigning.
My brother.
How you doing, Mr. Jackson? How you doing? Good night, everybody.
I must hastily say I regret. I had some logistical issues the other day, as I told the party leader to come and join you in Portland.
Yes.
But let me use this opportunity publicly to applaud you and the courage that you have demonstrated to come to the forefront in the fight, in the interest and defense of everyday Jamaican.
I appreciate that.
This is a man, permit me, Andre.
Go ahead with the class.
With that enormous legal success that he has had recently, some before, but one that has, just skyrocketed in recent time, has become one of the most highly demanded attorneys in Jamaica. And for him to say, notwithstanding the enormous wealth that he could acquire from his legal practice, he is now spending some of that time, I know not all of it, but at this time probably most of it, in defense and pursuit of the interests of the people of East Portland. It is commendable. And I say one other thing. As a bit, I said this is a bit, I'm not an old man, but he's a bit younger than I am. And it is very encouraging when I see young persons of talent are willing to come to bear those competencies and those abilities in the interest of everyday Jamaican. I really look forward to more young people across Jamaica coming forward in service. And if they want to go in party political activity, of course, the only place to go is the place where Isat and myself is. But they can have
Turn on back your screen. Turn on back your screen, Uncle Fitz.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
So I don't want to hog the show, but congrats on your presentation, my brother,
so much.
and friend. And
I
wish
know
you
that
all the best.
And I will come down to Portland at least for a day or two with you. You just let us talk.
Definitely. Looking forward.
When
Looking
a fixture
forward.
is on the ground is nothing normal in it, Jamaica.
You know, it is the people's champion, the only man to take on the corporations. Win
What
or
you call it,
lose.
a corporation?
Of course.
Oh, the vaseration.
No, I did not say. But I hope both of you would have heard the message from our esteemed elder and point yourself in the right direction, because Jamaica needs more young people with ambition like Ishmael and Mr. Stevenson's himself with the partner draw.
We have a big tent organization. With room for everybody.
Thank you.
It's a crusade.
It has always been a crusade. The People's National Party
starts with people. Yes.
People's National Party for everybody, and more so for the people. The people. You know, it is. I know I can't help myself. I thought have a great time in it all. Enjoy it.
Definitely doing that.
Enjoy it.
Today
the best reward you can have.
From morning he has been on the road walking. It's what time you start walking this morning, Mr. Buchanan?
These boots were made for walking. And that's the advice you should tell us, Mr. Jackson. You must tell us about you walk and you walk.
Never ending. But I say Isaac look like him lose a couple pounds already, though.
Already.
Yes.
Well, we have to keep the mission going and growing. Mr. Buchanan is doing his work, and we're going to continue to support him. And he's new, but him not that no means say him not understand it. And I'm going to say this, Jamaica. I am very astonished by the amount he has covered in the 1 month he has been in. So give him another 6 months and it's serious problem.
I see an expression on his face that he will do it in less time.
You read the facial expression?
I read it.
Oh no! I'm sorry, guys. Our vase just break. Sorry.
Was that one vase or two vases?
Another one broke Jamaica. A flower splat, force of flower spot.
I heard that since Isaac went to Portland, there have been a few cracks. And that was before the earthquake on Sunday. I heard the place began to shake.
Yes, that's the perfection. You missed the part where God cleared the skies and stopped the rain for a perfect day.
Yes.
Make sure that the message came across.
Because it was
no. If you permit me, it's interesting that Isaac made that point. A literal fact. On Sunday night, I had all plans, and I met up with my driver at Constant Spring. Right? I was waiting for a colleague, another candidate out of St. Ann who wanted to travel with me to come to Portland. Got held up in the rain coming out of St. Ann. I waited and waited, and when the time was going, I called Portland to find out when the party leader was scheduled to arrive. I was told it was 8:30, hoping that he would get some delay traveling into Portland. I called the party leader, only to find out that he was already in Portland, and his scheduled arrival would cause me to reach later than. And because it was raining in Kingston, I thought it was raining in Portland.
No
but
rain.
The clouds pull back.
Like Moses. Moses, the control of water.
The week before, our meeting in Anato Bay.
Wash out.
Because of the rain. We had to cut the program in Anato Bay the week before because of the rain.
Yes.
But for some miraculous reason, the following week in Portland,
yes.
the clouds stand still. And my brother was able to be presented without a raindrop.
Through the words of our most erudite Crawford, I am giving you
a warning. A new day is dawning.
Or you could put it another way. Last week Sunday, or as of last week Sunday, there was no shower.
No more shower. No more shower. Too much shower we make the place become saturated and we lose a lot. So we just need the sunshine now for the things to grow on earth.
Yes,
for the things to rise. And I know a lot of people out there are very green now. But green planting turn ripe, you know.
When they mature, they turn orange.
So plenty of you out there were having a problem. Only can.
We're not ripe yet. It's okay.
And we don't want any to be forced ripe.
No.
God on time, and time come. When time come to put.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us, Isaac, how was the walk today? I'm interested to hear.
You know, I can tell you, if you didn't know, there's a lot of love in Portland, and there's a lot of people that have a lot of hope, and is very, very excited about change. Change has already arrived. You know, it's just a matter of formality, and so that is solidified in the spaces. So it is solidified, and the people are ready for that change. The roads are so bad everywhere. I am shocked that there is this narrative that these beautiful carpets are in existence, because that's not the case.
Well, we're going to pick up another night because Isaac is echoing and his internet is very bad down there. I can guarantee the internet is bad. So we're going to pick up tomorrow night and have another discussion up and growing and going. But thank you, Honorable Fitz Jackson. Thank you, Member Canon in waiting. Permanent Secretary in waiting. Permanent Secretary Douglas. Yeah, man. So let us look forward to this moment in history. All right, but thank you again, everybody, for coming, and we will have a further discussion tomorrow night. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Good night, Jamaica. Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. All right.